me again, an Ocean One owner. I made a video yesterday, and I thought there was a few things I forgot to talk about yesterday that I wanted to touch, and I guess I got reminded a few more items I could talk about. So it's mostly talking points. It might be me rambling, but I guess one thing I could touch about, I don't know if you can see now, it's dark here, but the charging pads, that's wireless charging for the phones in the car. I have a Samsung Galaxy 23 Ultra, I think it's called, the bigger one, with an auto box on. It does charge. It just barely fits in the little charging pad, but it does work and it does charge. So at least with the Samsung it works. I heard some people with iPhones had issues and they needed to take off the little rubber mat that is below, but it works. Some of the other talking points, my vents broke, as it did for many of the Ocean ones. It was due to a faulty control module that was sending the wrong signal to the little servo that would move the little vanes that would open or close or direct the wind or the airflow. And that wrong signal would make the motor push too hard and break some plastic, and they stopped working. It is all replaced by Fisker'S. Supposedly, any cars produced after, I think, mid-October last year should not have that issue, from what I heard from a mechanic. But Fisker'S came out, replaced it in my driveway. 2 guys came out and did it, and otherwise looked over the car to make sure it was happy, which it was. Another issue I've had, which other people has too, which is also a fault from the supplier of the stuff. I guess the third party supplier of parts of the car, is the lights in the back seat. There's over each door in the back seat there's a little light, and there's a faulty sensor that is a little bit overactive, and now and then it would actually think that it's supposed to turn on when it's not supposed to, and the light will turn on by itself, and sometimes it can be difficult to turn off. Sometimes it turns off by itself. So that's a faulty sensor. It's back ordered. Don't have it yet, but hopefully it'll show up. If Fisker'S stays in business, it will show up and it'll be changed on warranty. If it does not, it is not a big deal. The light fixture is easy to pull out. It's held in with a couple of clips. Either you can just disconnect it if you want to, or if you want to do like my plan is, if I have to, I'll find another make from another car manufacturer that has, it's called a similar touch sensitive motion sensor light fixture, and then just take the insides and put inside this one and put the fixture up again. It does not seem like it should be a problem. So that's my plan in case Fisker'S would go out of business, which I'm hoping they will not. And some of the other talking points is with version 1.11 that I had for the longest time. I kept on seeing some faults that other people had too, which was the no emergency braking, no regen, and no lane keep assist. I normally got that if I had parked the car for a few days at a lower state of charge. In my case, it was less than 40%. It could probably have no higher too, I don't know. But that is how I often park my car at 30 or 40% for a few days. And I would say 80% of the time, when I got back to the car, I would have those 3 faults. And I could try and reset. Normally did not clear it. I would go and charge it at a fast charger. It did not clear it. It was not until I got home, plugged it into my level 2 charger, charged it to 80%, and day after it was cleared, everything worked as normal. It seemed to me that it was associated with the 12-volt battery level. The battery was not bad, however, those self-checks that the car does when you turn it on noticed that the level was a little bit lower than it wanted, is kind of what I understood from the mechanic, and therefore they decided to not function. They have fixed that, I guess, either by changing the limit or threshold for those sensors, or just increase the voltage on the 12-volt battery. So after I got 2.0, I have not seen those issues ever since. Every now and then I got a small glimmer of a no lane keep assist or no automatic emergency braking, and that is whenever I've had a low-hanging sun straight in the face, blinding the forward view camera, that of course then cannot see where you're going, and therefore the car will not take responsibility for stopping for traffic ahead of you. After 2.0, I've gotten the little warning or notification coming up. I think it's a blue notification on the driver's display saying the charge store is open, please close it. It seemed like it's every 10 drive I do or so that it would pop up, and it's like there for 1 or 2 seconds and it disappears. Fisker knows about it. It's a software bug, and it will be fixed with the next software update. Some people complain about the driver display right in front of me where the speed is, and they don't like the little waves coming out. When the waves are going out, it means that you're using electricity. If the waves are going inward, now you're creating electricity. Some people say that they think it's distracting, especially at night. I don't think so. I normally look at the traffic ahead of me when I'm driving, and I don't look at the display, so it is not catching my eye or anything. I don't know if they have the settings at a higher brightness, if it's distracting. At least, personally, it is not annoying me, so yeah, not a problem. So I started this as kind of rebuttal to some of the Fisker bashing that I feel that has been. I see it as an attack. I understand that some people who had bad experience with the car, that is fair. Absolutely complain about it if you have bad experience. But there's also people who don't own a car, but still choose to want to bash the company and even bash us, the owners, who chose to support and believe in the company, believe in the car. And I have a hard time taking people like that serious. If like calling us sheep or calling us stupid, say that we made a mistake by buying a car. No, I did not make a mistake. I took a chance. Yep. I'm a grown up. I make my own money. I choose what I want to spend them on. I thought that this was a cool looking car. It was better looking than any of the other EVs out there that I was looking at. I was in the market for an EV, so it was either this or a Tesla or a Lucid that had the range that I was looking at, and this one has longer than a Tesla. It was cheaper, definitely much cheaper than Lucid, even though Lucid had quite a bit more range, but Lucid was more money than I wanted to spend. And even though that's actually a pretty car, but it's not really what I was looking for. This is more what I wanted. I liked there was a Danish designer. I liked what he had done before, and I thought it was worth the chance. And I'm not regretting it. I think it's perfectly good. When I ordered as an Ocean One, I knew that not all the features were going to be there when the car was delivered. Fisker was open about it, so it was not a surprise. And yes, not all the features are there yet. It takes a little bit longer now. I understand. I'm not stupid. I can see that they had a little bit of headway. Maybe they should have delayed delivering cars, but they also had a lot of pressure from people saying, why are they not delivering yet? They promised to have the cars out at this time. So it was a lose-lose situation for Fisker. Either we deliver them now and people will be upset, or we wait and people will be upset. It made sense to start delivering so they could get some money. So they took maybe a gamble in that. For the people who choose to buy a car now from the stash from 23, as I have ordered an extra extreme $40,000. Fisker is open about these are the features you have. You might not get warranty because Fisker might not be in business the way they are now. I already know that. So there's no reason to call anybody names for choosing as an adult to make those choices. We can all choose to do whatever we want to, but it's difficult to take anybody serious who are bashing or name calling of owners like we are. I bought share in the company too, quite a bit, and it does not have a whole lot of value now, but I'm an adult. I don't spend more money than I'm willing to lose. It's just like if you go to Vegas, don't spend money you cannot lose. I do not make money in the stock market. I work for my money, so I'll make it back if it is. No big deal. I know it was a risk, but they might still survive. I don't think there was any ill intention from Henrik Fisker or anybody else in the company. It seemed like maybe some mistakes were made along the way, but no ill intentions. I don't think some people talk about how they are just selling the cars and they're going to cash out and run off with the money. Well, Henrik Fisker, he put his house up for sale. It does not matter if he lives in a mansion or what, but it seemed like they are doing whatever they can to keep the wheels running. And that is one of the reasons why, as I said, I'm buying an extra Fisker. I could either buy it from Fisker, the company, or I could buy one of the used ones people put up for sale. I choose to buy it from Fisker because I believe in the company and I want to help them. So I would rather buy from them. Plus, they have the configuration I want. I want a stealth green, I want the sea salt interior, and I want the same slipstream. It's the air glider. I think they're called air glider. And then we also have black air gliders. And they have that. That's the order I got. So I chose to buy from Fisker again, just because I believe in the company and I want to help them with my money. For some of the people who talk about what are you going to do if Fisker goes out of business, all these cars are going to be bricks in a year or 2 years from now, I don't believe so. The software that is in works great the way it is. Yes, I do not have all the features promised. Say Fisker went out of business today and I will never see an update. The car will keep on running. It's the same software. No new software is going to be downloaded. It works. If it stops working, having some kind of issues, I will reboot the car. And it's just like rebooting your Microsoft Office PC or your Apple laptop. It will reboot and it will work as it did yesterday. So software, I'm not worried about. Hardware, motors, inverters, a Magna. You can get brake pads, same suspension. You can replace all those things. On the internet, you can find the service manual for the car. You can do it yourself if you want to. Fisker Karma from Fisker Automotive, previous company. We have the what's the car called from the DeLorean. We can mention many companies. Saturn, a lot of companies out of business, still running, still getting service. With regards to the Fisker Karma, they did not make a whole lot of cars of that one, but they're still driving. There's mechanics who specialize in Fisker Karmas, and they're still driving. Right now we have many more mechanics who know about how to fix the Fisker Ocean. So I'm not worried about the car not being drivable. When people talk about the price, oh, but you bought a car that now is worth half the price. When I bought a car, it is not because I'm going to sell it again. I bought a car because I want it, because I want to drive it. I normally keep my cars until they don't drive anymore. I believe this one is going to keep on driving for a long time. But if you buy a Mercedes 10 years later it is worth only 10% of what you paid for it. So if you're in the market for a cheap vehicle, buy a Mercedes, because you can get a very nice car 10 years later for 10% of what it was earlier. Even the new EQS Mercedes EV, I think you get, it's a 2 or 3 year old car now for half the price of what it was new. Just because they came up with a new model that has a little bit longer range. Still not as long as this one, but it is there. Battery for this one is made by CATL, the Chinese company. I'm pretty sure they're the ones who actually has the warranty on it, probably through Fisker, but I'm not worried. I think the car will keep on driving, and again, that is why I decided that for me it is worth it to buy one more car, just because I like it and I believe in the build quality. With regards to the software, say if Fisker did go out of business today, I've heard that they already have software 3.0 being tested in vehicles here in the United States. They already have it installed in cars in Europe. So I am pretty sure that we could probably get it too from some of the mechanics who has it installed in the cars. I don't think Fisker would be assholes about letting us get the software, whatever they got. They might have us sign a, what they call sign your rights away if the car turns into a brake because you get the software. Well, it was not their fault because they did not test it fully. But I think that everybody who buys the car, I think we're at least going to get 3.0 and hopefully also 4.0. Supposedly that piece is also finished, just need to be tested. And of course, Fisker been bashed a lot, therefore they want to try and do their due diligence and make sure that they tested more, and that is why they chose not to install it on more company vehicles. In the beginning, the plan was, let's give Fisker Ocean 1 owners software first, and they can be guinea pigs, because they were okay with it, or at least the ones who were, and I was. But they chose that they want to test it more so that there'll be less bashing. When I do drive pretty far on a regular basis, I have a route I drive that is 221 miles exact on the nose from home to work, or where I parked the car at. I've driven that for many years now, and it is 221 miles. However, the Fisker Ocean on software 1.11 and 2.0 does not see it as 221 miles. It sees it as 214 miles. I think it's about 3% less than what you actually drive. On version 1.11, the energy meter that you had on the odometer was wrong, both because the mileage was wrong, so they can't know how much energy it used. However, it thought it drove a shorter distance than it actually did, so it looked like the car was greedier than it actually was. Plus, on the that meter, from what I understood from mechanic, was that it did not add in the regen that you're getting from driving downhill or slowing down. It only calculated what you sucked out of the battery, not what you put back in. I believe that is why we don't have that meter or measuring kilowatt per mile anymore in 2.0 software, because it was erroneous, and instead of having wrong information coming out, I think they just chose to remove that from the software, and of course I'm sure it's going to come back in later. It is software, so it should be easy. But anyhow, my drive 221 miles from home to there. I normally start at home with 100% charge. Normally when I get there, depending on conditions. In the daytime, it's a nice sunny day, not much traffic, I would normally park the car with 34%. If you do the math, it ends up being about 330 mile range total if I took it down to zero with that energy consumption. On a bad day or night, if I drive at night with headlights on, in the rain, and say the last hour when I get into traffic, if it's annoying traffic with aggressive driving, then I might park the car with 28% left, which of course is something like 6% less. And I'm not sure what the range was then. Maybe it's 310 or something like that. But pretty much on a regular day, not bad weather, keep it at 70 miles an hour. I would normally say to put it at 71 under cruise control, because that is the same as 70 actual. I get 330 miles range from 100 to 0, and I think that's pretty good. It's a freeway. It's fairly flat, not a whole lot of uphill, downhill, but I don't think it's bad for a car EPA estimate of 360. How I mitigate any fault as there is, which I could do with the 111, I just kept my car in the charger all the time when I was at home, and I never had any of the error messages that I spoke about. But when I parked it elsewhere, when it was sitting there for a few days without charge, they would pop up. But I knew how to mitigate it, and it was not a problem. So even 111, I could have lived with that, and I would still have been willing to actually buy an extra Ocean with that. It is a great car. That is just my opinion. Thank you.